Hello everyone, welcome back to our video lecture series on course title Fluid Mechanics 2. This is our 24th lecture and we will continue with our previous topic water hammer. So as we have discussed in the previous lecture, water hammer is the phenomena of rising or decreasing the pressure in the pipes. So whenever we are just closing the flow of liquid or whenever we are reducing velocity of the flowing fluid to the zero, in that case whatever the kinetic energy available in the water will be get converted into the pressure energy and there will be a sudden pressure rise. Now due to that sudden pressure rise there will be a pressure wave formation at that valve and which is going to move in the upstream direction. So while it is moving with that higher intensity of pressure, it is going to hammer on the wall of the pipe, and that's why it is known as water hammer in the pipes. We have considered two cases. So after discussion of many factors which are going to affect the water hammer effect, we have considered two cases. So instantaneous closure of the wall in pipes and gradually closure of the wall in the pipes. So by controlling that time how wall has been closed, we can minimize that effect or we can quantify that effect of water hammer effect. So in the first case we have derived the equation for the pressure intensity P is equal to rho VL upon T. This is the intensity of pressure in case of gradually closure of the wall, and we determine how that wall has been closed gradually. So we have considered one equation, that is T is equal to ratio of 2L upon C, where C is the velocity of the pressure wave and T is the time taken for closing the valve and L is the length of pipe. Now if this ratio is greater than T, in that case valve is said to be a gradually closed, and if it is less than T, if this ratio 2L by C is less than T, then in that case it is said that this valve has been closed instantaneously. So the first case we have already discussed, and we have got the equation P is equal to rho VL upon T. So as we have discussed previously, this P will be directly proportional to the density of the fluid, velocity of the fluid and length of the pipe. Now higher will be the velocity, higher will be the pressure intensity, higher will be the density, higher will be the pressure intensity similar to the length, but higher will be the time taken for closing the valve, lesser will be the pressure intensity because it is inversely proportional. So your time is going to govern the this intensity of pressure. So you can increase this value of time for the closing of valve. May practically not possible in most of the cases, but by controlling this time we can minimize the water hammering effect. Now if you see, look at this equation, what we are getting here. So T is the denominator, so if I put the value of T is equal to 0 here, what I will get, anything divided by 0 is going to give me the infinity. So value of P in that case will be infinity. What does it mean? If I am going to close my valve in 0 second, in that case whatever the pressure intensity of pressure wave generated or water hammer is the infinity. So infinite pressure will be generated, infinite pressure wave with the infinite pressure intensity will be generated in the pipe, but practically it's not possible that in T is equal to 0 second we are going to close the valve, because whenever you are going to close valve it always have certain value. So with that certain value you always get value of P as something finite value, it will not infinite. Further, whenever we have derived this equation, we have considered fluid as incompressible. That means that we have considered simple density here. We haven't considered compressibility. So again, this is the invalid assumption, because in those high pressure, in case of high pressure situations, compressibility going to play important role, because your liquid may get compressed in those conditions due to the heavy pressure. And in the water hammer effect we are just discussing that kind of high pressure intensity, and obviously we should consider that effect of compressibility there. So we haven't considered it, so that assumption is wrong. So this P always have a certain finite value, and we will continue with our second case, instantaneous closure of the valve in rigid pipes. So we have divided this second case into two cases. One is the rigid pipe and another is the elastic pipe, because whenever we are going to consider instantaneous closure, obviously it will be subjected to higher intensity of the pressure, and due to that higher intensity of the pressure, obviously whatever the pressure rise is going to affect your pipe properties, or it will be subjected to the bursting, and that bursting can be controlled by the pipe material by providing proper strain. So we need to consider those conditions as well. So let us consider instantaneous closure valve in case of rigid pipes. So consider a pipe of length L and having area of cross section A carrying a water which is flowing through that pipe having velocity V. Now when valve is closure instantaneously, obviously kinetic energy flowing in water will be get converted into the strain energy. Now previously we have discussed. Now this strain energy means what? Whatever the kinetic energy available in the water, that will be get converted into the strain energy that will be going to store in the water. So what we know that what is strain energy? Strain energy is energy stored in the material due to the deformation. Am I right? So that is the strain energy which is going to store in the water. Now by neglecting effect of friction at the boundary and assuming pipe wall is to be perfectly rigid, if I am going to assume the pipe as elastic, then obviously I need to consider deformation of pipe wall. So in that case we need to consider circumferential stress, longitudinal stress. Obviously there will be a concept of hoop stress, and again modulus of elasticity of that particular material that we need to consider, again Poisson's ratio. So that we will consider in the next case when we are going to consider pipe as elastic material. The first case we will discuss here. Now loss of kinetic energy which is taking place through the flowing liquid, that will be given by 1 by 2 multiplied by mass multiplied by velocity square. Mass we have just previously derived. Mass is equal to density multiplied by volume. So just put that value here. Now velocity square. And again gain of the strain energy, that will be given by the equation 1 by 2 multiplied by p square upon k multiplied by volume. So here it is the gain of strain energy that will be takes place during this process, that is half p square upon k multiplied by al is the volume, where p is the pressure intensity of the pressure wave and k is the bulk modulus of the elasticity of the water. Now those two, whatever the loss of kinetic energy taking place in this wave due to this sudden closure or instantaneous closure of the valve, that would be equal to whatever the strain energy gained by the water. Now by equating those two equations, I will get half rho al multiplied by v square is equal to half p square upon k multiplied by al. Now we want to compute the value of this p here. We want to derive the equation for the p. So p square is equal to half rho al v square multiplied by 2k upon l. So this al get cancelled. Again this 2 get cancelled. So what is remained here? Rho k and v square. So we have got the equation for the p square is equal to rho k v square. Now by taking the square root on both sides, I will get the equation p is equal to under root of rho k v square, which can also be written as by taking this v outside from the root. So I will get v under root of density multiplied by k. Now if I want to take this density outside from the integration, just multiply this equation with the multiply and divide this equation with the density. So inside it will become square and divided by rho. So I will get the equation as p is equal to v rho c, where v is the velocity of flow, rho is the density of liquid, and c is the velocity of pressure wave. That is given by under root of k upon v, where k is the bulk modulus of elasticity of water and rho is the density of liquid, which is also known as velocity of sound in that fluid medium, that c. So this is our required equation which we have derived for the case of instantaneous closure of the valve in case of a rigid pipe. Remember that. So remember this equation. Hope you understood this one. We will move to the next case where we are going to consider elastic properties of the pipe. So again consider the same case. Consider a pipe having length L, diameter D and thickness T, because as we are going to consider here the elastic pipes, obviously we need to consider circumferential stresses, longitudinal stresses, because if pipe is elastic, obviously it is going to show some deformation, and due to the deformation, obviously we need to consider whatever the stresses getting formed in that pipe material. So let P is the increase in pressure due to water hammer, E is the bulk modulus of elasticity of the pipe material, and 1 by m is the Poisson's ratio of the pipe material. What is the Poisson's ratio? We know that Poisson ratio is given by the ratio of lateral strain to longitudinal strain. So we are going to determine the equation for the instantaneous closure of the valve and what will be the pressure intensity in that case. So let's proceed. Now, when valve is closed instantaneously, rise of pressure takes place due to the circumferential and longitudinal stresses are produced in pipe wall, and that we can determine by using our knowledge of strength of material, which is given by Hooke stress equation. Circumferential stresses is equal to sigma d is equal to Pd upon 2T, where P is the pressure intensity and D is the diameter of the pipe or diameter of that particular pressure vessel. And next one is the longitudinal stress, sigma L is equal to Pd upon 4T. Now, those are the circumferential stress and longitudinal stress. Now, strain energy stored in pipe material per unit volume is given by the equation. Again, 1 upon 2E multiplied by sigma C square plus sigma L square minus 2 sigma C sigma L divided by M, where 1 upon M is the Poisson's ratio. The sigma C and sigma L are the circumferential and longitudinal stresses respectively, and this E is the modulus of elasticity of that particular pipe material. Now I can put the value of this sigma C and sigma L of circumferential and longitudinal stresses. I will get this equation Pd square upon 2T plus Pd square upon 4T minus 2 multiplied by Pd upon 2T multiplied by Pd upon 4T divided by M. Now this 2 get cancelled. What is remain here? This 4 will become a denominator. So here it is again Pd upon T whole square divided by 4M. Now I will get this equation for the strain energy which has been stored in the pipe material due to the sudden closure of the valve. Now I am going to put the value of Poisson's ratio as 1 by 4, that is 0.25, that is perfectly isotropic elastic material. So we will get the equation for it. So by putting that value we will get here 1 upon M is equal to 4, that is 4 multiplied by 4, 16. So this 16 Pd square upon P square D square upon 16 T square, and plus and minus both will get cancelled. So what I am getting here, only this equation, and if I multiply it outside I will get P square D square upon 8E T square, where T is the thickness of the pipe material, and here D is the diameter of pipe, P is the pressure inside the pipe or inside that pressure vessel, and here E is the bulk modulus of elasticity of the pipe material. Now total energy stored in pipe, this was the per unit basis. The stored strain energy was calculated on per unit volume. So I am going to multiply it with the volume. So I will get here equation P square D square divided by 8E T square multiplied by total volume of the pipe material. Now total volume can be calculated as pi dt multiplied by length of the pipe, where T is the thickness of the pipe. So by computing that value, this T get cancelled, 1T will get cancelled. So what equation I am getting here, P square multiplied by D cube L divided by 8Et. Now by modifying this equation slightly, just writing down this D square as a D cube as a D multiplied by L on a side, and I can put here pi D square, that is the area of the pipe, that is pi by 4 multiplied by D square. So I have just modified this equation as P square multiplied by ADL divided by 2ET. Now what are the loss of kinetic energy in case of water? That is given by again our previous equation, half rho AL multiplied by V square. Now gain of strain energy in case of water, that is half P square upon K multiplied by volume. Again here volume is the AL. So here it is strain energy we have calculated, which is stored in the pipe material. Why it is going to store? Because pipe is also going to deform, as we are considering elastic pipe material, and we have also derived the equation for the gain and loss of strain energy for the water. Now we are going to equate those two equations, gain and loss of strain energy. So what we will get here, half rho AL multiplied by V square is equal to half P square upon K multiplied by AL. Now in case of gain in strain energy, we are going to add the gain in strain energy by the pipe material as well, because we are also considering pipe material as elastic and it is also going to store certain amount of energy, and that would be equal to whatever the loss of kinetic energy takes place in the water, because same amount of energy will be get stored in water plus pipe. So some of the energy will be stored by pipe water, and some of the energy will be stored by the pipe. Now here it is, this half everywhere it is common, so it will get cancelled. Again A is common, again AL, here it is AL also get cancelled. So what I am getting here, density multiplied by V square is equal to P square upon K plus P square D divided by ET. So by writing this equation, by taking P square as a common, because we want to derive the expression in terms of P square, so P square in bracket 1 upon K plus D upon ET. So I am writing this equation in terms of P. So here it is, P square is equal to rho V square upon 1 upon K plus D upon ET. Now while writing the equation for the P, that is pressure intensity of the pressure wave, that will be equal to under root of rho V square divided by 1 upon K plus D upon ET, where rho is the density of water, V is the velocity of flow, K is the bulk modulus of elasticity of the water, and E is the modulus of elasticity of the material, T is the thickness of the pipe, and D is the diameter of the pipe. So when we are considering elastic pipe, in that case we can determine this equation. We have got the equation for the P as equal to V under root of rho divided by 1 upon K plus D upon ET. Remember this equation. Hope you understood this derivation, and the same derivation we are going to use while solving the numerical. Those are the references which I have used while preparing this presentation. Thank you for watching.